Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Spartan, and today I want to show you a full day of working out. So I've been taking about a month off after my ultra, and then this last week is the first week I was training, but I was doing pretty easy. So I wanted to make today the start of my first actually hard training back. So I wanted to do a few things and just show you guys in general what a really full day of training looks like for me. In my experience before, shooting for about 3 hours total workout time seems to be a really good margin for me with the amount that I've been training. That's what I was trying to hit this summer, was 2 to 3 hours. So that's what we're going for today. I think the run's obviously going to take 40 minutes or so. I can easily rock climb for an hour, and then it's just however long the weightlifting and other stuff winds up taking. So yeah, that's what we're gonna get into today, and I'll just kind of show you how the schedule kind of pans out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting my food ready for the day. Basically, I've just seen a lot of research that says it's pretty important to not work out hungry. It can really cut into the gains you make. So right now I'm just preparing a little something to have beforehand. I'm having eggs, which I normally wouldn't like to have. I'd like to have a leaner meat with a little less fat, because you don't want to have so much fat before you work out. And then I plan on having some oatmeal with it as well to get a good solid bit of carbs in. Yeah, so right now the entire plan is just to go ahead, prepare this, eat it, get the dog ready for me to be leaving for a little bit, and then we're gonna go off for the run, which is the first workout of the day. I also just wanted to show you, I'm gonna be logging my food for the day. So I've got my oatmeal coming out. I've already logged that on my, I'm using my Fitbit app to do it because it's pretty easy. You can just scan the barcode and it keeps track of your calories and macros for you. I'm at 463 calories for the day after this meal, and it'll just keep going on after that. All right, so I am just changing into my trail shoes now to get ready to run. Now, there's pros and cons to running on trails. The big pro is obviously Spartan races are trail races, so you're getting some experience on trails. But also, because they are trails and not smooth roads, there's a better risk of you hurting yourself by rolling an ankle or something. So you just got to be careful and look out for that. I find personally that running on mountain bike trails are really well kept. There are some Spartan races that are mountain bike trails, but they tend to be the best groomed because there's constantly people kind of going on them, and they tend to be pretty smooth because the bike has to be able to traverse it without too many potholes or something. But there are still enough routes and technical stuff for you to practice. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get the head strap on and we're gonna get ready to go for a run. All right, we are out here on the trails. I'm just gonna do a warm-up. So I find that the secret to being able to do something like 3 hours of training in a single day is you really have to be good about doing your warm-ups and cool downs. I think this is probably the most overlooked part of training because people just want to get into the workout. They don't want to have to take the time to stretch properly, but stretching properly is what's gonna help you, it's gonna help prevent injury, activating some of those muscles, reinforce good technique, and most importantly, stretching afterwards and everything helps recovery so that the next day you aren't just totally destroyed and you can do it all again. So I know it's a lot because you're just ready to go and crush a good run, but I think it is pretty important to hit your workout strong. So I'm just doing a pretty short set here. We're gonna do this and we're gonna make sure we cool down afterwards, and we're gonna do a warm-up cool down for literally everything we're doing today. And I think it's probably one of the most important things that gets overlooked regularly. With that being said, I think we are ready to go. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a few miles. This shoe is just loose, and keeping your shoes nice and tight helps prevent rolled ankles a lot because it's sliding less. That's what I realized, so make sure this is solid.
So I just did 5 miles and I haven't finished one loop yet, but I'm pretty sure the cars are right there through the woods. So yeah, 5 miles, time to cool down. So if you aren't a fan of cooling down by stretching, turns out walking is itself a really good cool down if you walk a good distance. So I'm gonna walk all the way back to the car and then get my full stretches in. Some pretty basic drills. The first thing I always do is stretch my calves. And again, the whole point of all this stretching is just to make sure that we're fully recovered for tomorrow. That's what you gotta be thinking about. I can't tell you how many times when I was first starting out, figured I cooled down enough by going a little slow, I don't need to stretch. And then the next day I was just toast and couldn't run at all. Even if it just makes you feel a little better, it improves your performance, which has been shown to make you work out better and then get, you know, better gains. So just stretching, making sure you get pretty much everything you can think of. Whew. But yeah, that's the running bit. We're gonna head back home and get ready to head to the gym later. See what the dog's up to. What did he do? Did he chew up a whole roll of toilet paper? What a good boy.
I'm just gonna roll out also a little bit to recover. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna eat, shower. I'm doing a little extra recovery, spending some time with the dog. So basically I'm just trying to break up my workout sessions. This is pretty common. While we're waiting for the rice to cook, and before I get started doing stuff, I do want to get some food in my body since I did work out recently. So I'm gonna actually put in like this fuel powder stuff. So that's gonna be like 400 calories for a little shake. All right, so the rice cooker just went off. So what we're having for lunch is I'm gonna have some brown rice. I'm actually gonna weigh this out. I got a food scale for Christmas, so we're gonna weigh this out. And then I got some vegetable made chicken, so like plant-based chicken, and some veggies. Add this in. I think this is way more than actually it's like almost exactly 100 grams. So apparently today, after I eat this, we will be at about 1,500 calories. We're gonna get to it so we can get back to training. So one last thing I completely spaced on. As I said before, you want to be eating beforehand, and after you have been doing exercise for, you know, close to an hour and a half or so, protein issues start being a concern. So because I expect to be working out for like 2 hours straight once I get there, I'm going to make myself a casein shake, and it's just slow digesting, so it kind of breaks down as you work out, so protein issues aren't so much of a concern. If you guys can't tell by now, most of my preparation, when you're doing this level of working out, like 3 hours of exercise in a day, as I said before, most of your time around that is spent stretching for making sure you're warming up and recovering. So as you can tell, like most of my time is going to all this nonsense rather than the actual training, but we're probably gonna go back and do some more training. All right, we're at the gym now. I'm just about to head in. As a note, they play music in there, so I can't really get audio directly, so you'll probably just hear me swap to doing like voiceover stuff just with the microphone back home in post. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the gym. So pretty much right when we got there, it was pretty straightforward. Climbing wall was closed. And because I really wanted to still get my climbing wall workout in, I decided to try and find things that targeted those muscle groups. So I started off doing muscle ups. Muscle ups I think are a phenomenal replacement if you're not having any kind of shoulder problems at the time, because it simulates a lot of obstacles. I remember I was on Reddit and people were asking me how I did the vertical cargo 2.0, which is the table where you have to get up on top and push yourself over without your feet, and also how you do the box, which is the big table with the rope where you can use your feet but it's rather slick. And to both of those questions I remember responding saying that it's very similar to a muscle up, mantling yourself over and the instinct of where to put your feet and stuff, with the explosive power and just being able to get over. It's like a very slow muscle up. So that's what I always recommended people do. it can take a long time to learn how to do a muscle up well, but once you do, it can kind of just become second nature, and it's great to have. So I did that. So I wanted to work my grip still afterwards, so I wound up going to do a hang board. So I just kind of sat down on the hang board, and you can do like 30-second hangs from different kind of holds just to work your grip strength out a little bit. I'll tell you, by the end of it, I was pretty gassed, but that was pretty much a whole climbing routine, and that took like 40 minutes to do, which was awesome. And then I moved on to my weightlifting section. So weightlifting, I always try and do the same 3 exercises. I always warm up with some lightweight deadlifts. These are really good for hamstring stuff, so it's good when you're trying to practice obstacles like bucket carry, pretty much all of your carries, also the tire flip. And then afterwards, I always move on to probably one of my favorite lifts at period, which is the power clean, because it's just so explosive. You're engaging so many muscle groups, and it's really great about muscle recruitment, getting a lot of muscles engaged all at once. So I love the power clean, and I just pyramided up from 135 all the way up to 185 at the very end there. So that was really fun. And then I always finish off with some nice squats. Again, the squats were a little low weight. I just kind of wanted to stretch, make sure I was getting a good bit of work in, because they kind of target a lot of the same muscles for the run. So I felt like I did a pretty good job there. After I did all of the lifting, it was pretty straightforward. I just did an ab routine. Spartan had an ab routine listed on their website. I got an email that morning. So I decided to go ahead and do some of it, which was basically a series of farmer's carries and planks. And then there was some other stuff that I decided wasn't really worth my time. And then after I finished all the farmer's carries and planks, I decided the best thing to do was to optimize recovery again. So stretching after all things. I stretched after climbing, I stretched before and after my weightlifting, and I stretched after the ab routine pretty well. So it turns out that by the end of that time, it had been several hours. But yeah, I just kind of went home after that, and it was pretty good. All right, so heading back in now. Yeah, so that was pretty much, I've actually been working out like 3.5 hours today. Yeah, that was pretty much my full day of training. Now I just need to finish eating, cleaning, wrap up for the day, hopefully be in bed by 10 so I can get up at 8, get a solid 10 hours of sleep for recovery. And then we do it all again tomorrow, which is terrifying sometimes. Walk the dog, I'm eating, getting a banana in right now, and brown rice. I got 97% lean turkey in there with some black beans. Total calorie count for the day is up to 2,700 calories, 85 grams fat, 176 grams of protein, and 304 grams of carb. All right, basically at the end of the day, bed's gonna come in like 30 minutes. I was comparing just a little bit. I went to like just a random macro calculator to see where I fit on my macros. So looks like I should have gotten about 90 more carbs, should have gotten about 34 grams less of protein, and I overdid the fat as well, 26 grams. So overshot it a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much the entire day. I hope that was a little informative. Pretty much the big, important part is just to keep grinding away at it. And doing stuff like this every single day and trying to find the time. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in another video.